The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach. The Island Times News Update begins right now. Here's Tom Patton.
Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The Atlantic Beach Commission voted Monday night to terminate the employment of City Manager Nelson Van Leer for what Commissioner John Stinson, who brought the resolution to the Commission, said was a lack of clarity in the City Manager's dealings with the Commission and the citizens of Atlantic Beach. The catalyst for Stinson was a series of events connected with a zoning variance that was required for a house under construction at 1144 East Coast Drive. But Stinson said that he had broader concerns with Van Leer. He said the problems with the zoning ordinance was indicative of an issue that has been going on for some time and is getting worse.
We are not being transparent, and certainly there is a complete lack of clarity with what we tell our citizens, what we tell our city attorney, and what we tell our commissioners that we have done, and why we did it, and when we did it.
Van Leer had his supporters on the commission. Both Commissioners Blythe Waters and Jimmy Hill opposed the termination of the city manager. Hill, who voted to terminate City Manager Jim Hansen in the first weeks of his term, said he simply could not see the cause for termination based on the evidence brought by Stinson.
This feels contrived again. It's ironic to me that the only issue that I ever said that I could get behind the termination of a city manager over was a lack of trust, and here this is the issue. And yet I can't identify the lack of trust. I personally don't see it. I'm not going to try and get into the commissioner's head that brought the item before us and understand it. I have not had any indication that Nelson has been anything but truthful on any other issue. I think this is a misunderstanding. I think the terms for termination or the request for termination over this issue is a disservice to the overall performance of our city. And it's incredibly disappointing to have to be going through this, especially if this is the issue, if this particular issue is the issue. However, I will give Commissioner Stinson full credit and right to have his own view and thought of it. I'm not disputing that. That's my point, is I'm not disputing whether he perceives it that way. I just don't perceive it that way. Thank you.
Commissioner Mitch Harding said that while he did not think that Van Leer had done a bad job, he thought it would be very difficult for him to continue to work effectively in a toxic environment created by the termination resolution. Mayor Mitch Reeves said Van Leer had been a very effective finance director for the city before his promotion, but he is not a good manager.
Look at the people he's hired. Great that you report that we don't have a planner, we don't have certain ones. That's not our job to hire. He hired the public works. Didn't last very long. He just hired a planner. He quit and made some comments about myself and another commissioner in his letter. And I probably had 50 words, and I actually commented him the last time he was here saying, maybe this guy can write the zones. So when you talk about different things, I just want to make sure that everybody understands this quote. And this is my quote. I was elected to represent the people of Atlantic Beach in front of their government, not to represent the government in front of the people.
Reeves said that the city commission could not be more transparent, and the city government behind closed doors also needs to be more transparent. The commission voted 3-2 to terminate the employment of Van Leer, who did not speak at all during the meeting. He immediately left the commission chamber. That left the city without a manager, a key position which is necessary for the day-to-day operations of the city. Commissioner Stinson and Mayor Reeves favored appointing Human Resources Manager Kathy Berry as the temporary interim city manager, but before that motion could be made, Commissioner Blythe Waters moved that the commission appoint Kevin Hogenkamp, a media consultant in Jacksonville Beach with experience in city management, to the position. Waters said that Hogenkamp served as the assistant to the city manager in Albany, Georgia, the public information manager, and when the city manager position was open, he served as the interim city manager. Waters said that she had approached Hogenkamp to ask him if he would be willing to accept the position, with the caveat that he not apply to be the permanent city manager, and he said he would accept those conditions.
I think it's also imperative that we bring in someone who has experience serving as an interim city manager and someone who has significant experience in communication and media relations, as the primary concern that this body has expressed up to this point is about communication.
Waters and Commissioner Hill both said that appointing someone on the city staff could discourage candidates who might apply for the job, thinking that the existing employee had an inside track on the job, so the interim city manager should not be interested in or eligible to apply for the job. Hill said that he was willing to take a chance on a person he had never met as the interim city manager, as long as they could quickly remove him or her from the position should any issue arise. Mayor Reeves was also very uncomfortable about appointing someone to such a key position of whom he had no knowledge. But Berry told the commission that taking on the duties of city manager would make it very difficult for her to continue work towards hiring a new planning director and police chief, and now coordinating the recruitment of a new city manager. The commission voted to extend an offer to Hogenkamp at a rate of $60 per hour. He will serve as the temporary interim city manager until an interim city manager can be named. Hogenkamp is eligible to apply for the interim job on an extended basis, but cannot apply to be the new permanent city manager of Atlantic Beach. In other business, the Atlantic Beach Commission finalized its one-year moratorium on medical marijuana dispensaries in the city with no further discussion on the issue. It also gave initial approval to an 18-month pilot program to allow up to 50 permits for backyard hens in Atlantic Beach. Commissioner Stinson was the only dissenting vote. When we come back, the impact of tourism at the beach. This is the Island Times News Update.
The news you can count on. The Island Times News Update will be right back.
Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788. Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. Governor Rick Scott was in Jacksonville Beach Wednesday at the offices of local software developer HashRocket to promote his initiative to make college more affordable in Florida. The Finish in 4, Save More legislative and budget proposals are designed to encourage colleges and universities to continue to make higher education more affordable for students and also help students graduate in 4 years. Currently, only 44% of undergraduate students at Florida State universities graduate within 4 years, and 71% of students are graduating with 4-year degrees within 6 years, according to the governor's office. Among the proposals in the initiative are freezing fees and college tuition in the state, while cutting graduate assistant teaching fees by 25%. Scott would also expand the Bright Futures Scholarship Program and cut taxes on college textbooks. Tourism is a $2.2 billion industry in Jacksonville, and one of the big draws for tourism is the beach, according to Visit Jacksonville. Monica Smith, Vice President of Sales and Service for Visit Jacksonville, was the guest speaker at Beaches Watch Wednesday night. Smith said that people looking at the Visit Jacksonville website are very interested in what the beaches have to offer.
There are 3 million page views on our website, our main visitjacksonville.com website, for beach and beach-related content. So folks are interested in coming here. And they know that this area not only has the beauty and the natural resources, but it's got great culinary experiences, entertainment through special events and other things that are going on. Locally owned shops are available, but then also not that far from St. John's Town Center.
Smith said that visitors to the region do not see the county lines that residents do, and that tourists have a more regional view of the area between St. Augustine and Amelia Island, which includes the beach's communities. The Neptune Beach City Council will discuss 3 amendments to its city pension ordinance introduced by Councilor John Jolly at its workshop meeting Monday night. Jolly's amendments would leave the actuarial equivalent at 8% and not issue a 13th check to retirees in years when the investments in the pension fund do not meet or exceed the projected annual rate of return. The city is under a state-imposed deadline in early March to have their pension plan finalized.
The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach, forecasting your beaches. This is your local look weather.
Well, the National Weather Service says we can expect partly sunny days and partly cloudy nights through the weekend and into next week. Highs will be in the upper 60s to low 70s. Lows will fall into the upper 50s to around 60. It is why we love winter at the beach. The Island Times is always digital, always free at theislandtimes.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to be the first to know about stories posted on the Island Times. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.